Sorry about that. No, that's fine. No, I'm just people get paranoid because they see me filming. That's good. That's good. I appreciate it. That's good. No, that's good. Thank you. Have a good day. I appreciate it. That's good.
It's public property, right?
That's good. Yeah, we're I appreciate it. How you doing there? That's good. Hey, welcome to Batesville, Indiana. Here, yeah, we're just. I'm gonna start this stream here by filming the historic Gibson Theater here. We got this nice little town square here, and yeah, Batesville, Indiana. It's between Indianapolis and Cincinnati. If you go down I-74, I'm down here because I'm spending time with my father here. Of course, people know yesterday we were in Sunman, Indiana, which is about 7 miles from here. And this is probably the larger town that's near where my dad lives. I spent many a time here growing up here before I moved to Chicago. We'll check out this theater here. Here we're at Main Street. T-Lime, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, so here, yeah, see they added this. They took actually some parking, which is interesting, a few probably 10-15 years ago, and expanded this little park area here. Of course, there's a kind of a strip mall type development. We'll talk about it more when we go through it here. But that's Van Sky. How you doing here? Thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, thanks everybody. We got a beautiful day here again. Mid 60s. We had some rain overnight here. We're in Southeast Indiana. I'm not in Chicago. Normally I stream from Chicago, but right when I was starting there, I started the live. I was talking to a gentleman there. I just wanted to reassure him I'm not ICE. I'm not surveilling the town. I want to show off the historic nature of this town. And you know, while I'm down here, we'll get some content here. But let's check out this theater here. We're at Main Street and Bowringer Street, and Batesville, Indiana. There you can see it on the water tower over there. And thanks everybody for tuning in here. I'm a little late getting started. I rushed to get up here, and then I couldn't get a live stream going, and now I realized what I was doing wrong here, so we'll go here. But hey, look here, Batesville, Indiana. Here's the Gibson movie theater. I used to watch movies here when I was a kid. Even yeah, they show a lot of Disney movies, Light of the World, enjoy Labor Day here. There we go. So, and it's beautiful on the inside. This is stylized. I need to look into exactly when this was built. I'll put it in the notes if we put out a rerun. I'll put out, try to find information about when this was built. But look at this beautiful theater here, Batesville, Indiana here. Yeah. It always looks like this. It looked like this. It looks like it's abandoned for my entire lifetime here. You know, I grew up in this area in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and this is what a lot of rural, small town America looks like. This is not Chicago. This is Southeast Indiana. This is a railroad town. Just like some in Indiana we toured yesterday, there's a railroad sighting that comes off the Big Four Railroad. The Big Four Railroad connected Chicago to Indianapolis to Cincinnati and even to St. Louis and east to like Pittsburgh and stuff. And that's why, I mean, we're in the Eastern time zone, so it's 1:17 in the PM. They're not showing any matinees here. So yeah. So this is the area where I'm from. People often ask where I'm from. I'm not from Chicago. I live in Chicago. I lived in Chicago over half my life, my adult life. I moved to Chicago in 1999, but I grew up in this area of Indiana, Southeast Indiana. So you're in luck. People often ask where I'm from. I'm not from this town. I grew up in the country, but I grew up about 7 miles from here, out in the country. And so this was the largest town that actually had like restaurants and a theater. The little town we were at yesterday was a smaller town, and it's not large enough to have a lot of the stuff that this town has. Like this has a nice restaurant called the Sherman House. I think there's a hotel here. There's hotels by the interstate. It's close to I-74. And thanks for tuning in here. See here, they got some nice historical stuff here. Batesville Bank. And yeah, if you like this, hit the like button here. We're just 1929. This is what Batesville looked like. And there you see these buildings here. Those are those buildings right there. Those two buildings are these two buildings right here. And that's what it looked like 100 years ago about. But hey, Christopher, how you doing here? Yeah, we're in small town America here, Batesville, Indiana. Thanks for tuning in here. This is the area near where I grew up. I did not grow up in this town, but I grew up in the countryside near here. And I think you know, like yesterday, we were in a different small town, another railroad town. This is called Batesville, Indiana. You can look it up on the map there. And yeah, so here we'll keep going here. Let's go down to the old main street here. What is today? Is today Thursday? Today's Thursday. So sometimes, yeah, this is a small town. Sometimes the businesses are not open on Wednesday. They close Wednesdays and Sundays, but since it's Thursday, the businesses should be open. Hey, we got a nice sculpture here. We got Children of Peace here. So they tried to add some public work, or some public artwork here. Beautification League. You got a gazebo. You'll see there's a lot of German American influence here. You notice it in the timbers here. They got a look. Oh, let me turn the chat off for a second here. Look at that. They got like the German, the little guy saw on the log. I don't know if they move. Wouldn't that be amazing if they move with the time there? You find that. I wish I could show this to our friend Demishi there, the Bavarian Alps, that some of the culture of Baden area, the Baden area of south western Germany got transplanted to this area, the Black Forest area of Germany, and you see it here, Main Street. Hey, look at this. They made a car that looked like a roller skate there. Look at that. These are historic photos of Batesville, Indiana. But hey, thanks everybody. Sheridan, Shauna, how you doing in the rain? Yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah. Peter. Yeah. So hey, let's keep going here. Let's check out the hey, they got like a sun clock. They got a sun shadow clock there. That's interesting. Look at the nice flowers here. But that's a nice scene there. We got the theater and the main drag here. So what else is going on here? Yeah, what's up? How you doing there? Gonna be a band? That's good. Yeah, people are preaching the Bible. Thanks for the good reference. I've actually read the entire Bible. It takes a long time, especially when you get to like the parts in the Old Testament where they just list people's names. Here, Batesville, Indiana. Here's it shows. So this will show where we're at here. Batesville, Indiana. You see that little star? We're in that corner. So normally I stream from Chicago. We were by the Indiana Dunes. That's where my father lives, down in this area. And this is the area where I grew up. So let's check out this town here. Look, they got the little, yeah, well, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. You know, the first 5 books of the Christian Bible are the same as the first 5 books of the Talmud. And the Jewish, well, of course, Christianity and Islam came out of Judaism. Judaism, Islam, and Christianity all use the same first 5 books of the Bible. All of those religions believe in Abraham. All of those, isn't that amazing? And there's cultural overlap between Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, even though many wars have been fought between those cultures and religions. Isn't that amazing? But and even Islam recognizes Jesus Christ as a prophet, but he wasn't the Lord Savior. See, that's the difference. He was just another prophet, just like all the other prophets. Here's the and I'm sure I'm getting that wrong, but thanks for tuning in here. People want to talk about religion. I can talk about religion all day. Here's Town Hall. Here's the old Town Hall of Batesville, Indiana, erected 1887. It was in this general location here. I think it's gone. But Here's some of the, and see, there were commercial buildings on this side. There was a railroad siding that came in here, and there was like a feed mill and things, and they tore that down, and that made it parking. So, you know, this happens to a lot of small town America. Buildings get tore down for parking, and it affects the urban form here and urban design. But hey, we got a nice little painting of a covered bridge in Indiana. A few areas they still have some covered bridges, and you can still drive through some of them. They're still used. Here, the Eureka Band, the oldest band in Indiana here, continuously active. They're still, see, some of these guys are still in this band, multiple generations. We got young people and old people in the Eureka Band here, Batesville, Indiana. There they list their names here. Historic. Okay, so we'll head down this street. So hey, what's shaking here? Yeah, see, a small town here. So yeah, they got a coffee shop here, and there's a restaurant, a hotel. They changed this around. There used to be a big, it's called the Black Forest Bar. The Black Forest Bar, the Black Forest area, Germany. You see the German-American influence here in southeast Indiana. And there's other ethnicities around here as well. Hey, walk-ins, welcome. Hey, they're getting out the Halloween stuff. You see people starting, it's only September, but it's starting to feel more like fall with this weather. Gypsy Soul, that's the name of the place. Let's check it out here. Bowringer Hall, they got some murals here. See the timbers here, the German architectural influence, at least, even if it's cartoonish. Wow, they got a lot of nice scarves here. Gypsy Soul. Looks like a nice shop here. Daffodillies. I remember they sold candy here when I was a kid. Hey, there's the pillow guy. Remember my pillow guy? How you doing? How you doing? That's my pillow guy. How you doing? I just saw him in the window. That's great. That's awesome. There he is. Let me cross the street. Let me get him here. There he is. So here's Smart Home Technologies here. Geis Electronics. Geis Electronics has been there for a long time. There's the My Pillow guy in the window. So here we'll go by Daffodillies. Hey, look at these murals here. There it is, Batesville, Indiana. I know it's windy here. We're not in the Windy City. We're in Batesville, but storms came through last night. Here's the old beer garden. Here's the beer garden here. Look how they have a skywalk, and that goes back to the industrial past. There was, I think, Romweber or the furniture makers used to be around here, and these were factories that they converted. Some of them on the other side of town they converted to housing. Let's check out these murals here. Here's one of the churches, the Catholic churches in Batesville, and we'll check that out. Here, I got to turn the comments back on there. Nelius, how you doing there? Yeah, it's closed. It's closed. So here we are. So listen to this. So I know I'm not interjecting. You know, we have to talk about what's happening in the world. This area is Trump country. This area is part of Indiana, red state. I bet you 85% of the people in this area voted for Trump. And here we have a business that shut down recently. And, you know, we see a lot of empty storefronts in Chicago, and people often liken it to, you know, the bad policies of the Democratic big city mayors, and that might have something to do with it. I'm not discounting that. But here we are in Republican stronghold middle America, and businesses are still having a hard time because of inflation, and people don't drink as much as they used to anymore. These are global trends. These are not these are things that have accelerated since the pandemic. I'm generalizing here. And there's empty storefronts here, and there's empty storefronts in Chicago, big cities and small town. How about where you're at? Is your area booming? I know, like Texas and Florida, there's probably not any empty storefronts because everybody's moved to those areas and left areas like this. But not everybody's left. My father hasn't left, and there's still people that live in this town. I like this town. And that's why I'm showing it off here. So hey, yeah, what happened to all the beer? I'm all for people drinking beer. It's just beer sales are down. Maybe it's because I stopped drinking. But here, let's check out these murals here. Here's Batesville, Indiana here. Yeah, let's go down to this church before I forget. Well, we'll go up to this corner here. Let's head straight down because this street is this Walnut Street. It aligns right with the church here. There, Walnut Street. Here we go. So hold on a second here. Let me pull up some map here. Hold on a second here. So that's called the Sherman Inn. St. Louis. We'll go down to St. Louis Catholic Church here. Look at that. Look at that sign there. We welcome you. There we go. We welcome you. You can't beat Batesville. There you go. That's nice. See, there's another church over here. We got a little storefront. There's a public library. Eventually, we'll go up that street. There's some nice housing, but let's at least get a view of St. Louis here, the Catholic Church. And my grandmother was buried at this church, and used to go to this church, and she lived in this town when not when she was younger. At the end of her life, my uncle farmed the old family farm there, and she moved to the town and got a house in the town, like right across from this church. And both her sister, is that the bell? A Tale of Our Town. Okay, that's the name of this mural here. Let's just show this mural here. But you know, we're in the middle of a Thursday after lunch, so it's not going to be busy at all here. There we go. Yeah, it's a nice little town there. Yeah, I'll go to the library. I'll go to the library eventually. It's a really nice library. Yeah, Batesville. Of course, Hillenbrand Industries, they did a philanthropic endowment, and I think they helped fund that library. And for a town this size, it's a really nice public library. And I might even go inside there because I have memories from my mother taking me there when I was growing up near here. And so Batesville, Indiana here. We got a beautiful mid 60-degree sunny day. The rain cleared out. Here's one of the main commercial. Here's the post office, United States Post Office, Batesville, Indiana. There used to be a doctor's office over here. Here's St. Louis. I'm not going to go all the way down there because we want to go to the library here. But here's St. Louis Catholic Church here. There it is. And there's some funeral homes and things there. Nice little town there. So here, I can show you who painted the murals. They have a plaque there. So let's go back by. I think this plaque will tell us who painted these murals. Thanks for asking here. So let's go up to the library. We'll go up Walnut Street here. And when this was open, even during, you know, I'm not putting it all on Trump, but even during the Biden administration, we came here, and it was nice. They would have bands and stuff, but it was never really crowded. Like, it wasn't as crowded as I thought. They would try to get people to go there. On the inside, it was beautiful. They had the timbers from the old industrial, and hopefully they'll get it going again. I don't. If somebody's tuning in from Batesville, you can help me out if they're still using that as a beer garden or not. The old Sherman House area there. But here they got a plaque here that says who built who did the murals here. Here it is. A Tale of Our Town. Artist Yulia Avgustinovich. 2021. Batesville Area Arts Council. See, they got a good endowment here. Hillenbrands, you see the Rockwood Family Foundation, Hillenbrands, Cindy Johnson. These are local people that contributed to that. And you see how they're... And I see this, you know, in other... Even Sunman had some murals. It's nice to see these small towns like the big cities utilize artists for these murals here. But hey, we'll head up Walnut Street. There's some nice housing up here. We'll go by the library, and there's a golf course up this way. I don't know if we'll get up that far. We were here before, 2 years ago on my original TikTok account. We came through here. See Batesville Wastewater Department. So the population of Batesville, I don't know off the top of my head. You can look it up. If you go to Wikipedia, type in Batesville, it'll do the census. I think it's around 2,500 to 5,000. It's larger than Sunman. The town we were at yesterday was about 1,000. This is probably 3 times as large as Sunman, maybe 4 times as large if you include Morris. And Oldenburg is a historic town north here. I filmed in Oldenburg before. Oldenburg's beautiful. It's the German heritage in that town is even more significant than this German American heritage. It has used to have a convent there. It has beautiful Catholic churches and a school. I think they still have a school there. And here we are at Bowringer Street at Walnut here. Here's the library. Oh, they're doing some new construction. So this is the first time I've been here in a while. They're doing some new construction here. I wonder what this is going to be. So we'll have to come back and see what this becomes here. Does anybody know what they're building here? It says Meyer Construction. I don't see a rendering of, but here's the library. You see it's a mid-century modern building with a flat roof. And my aunt used to have my dad's side used to have a hair salon here. So I spent my aunt and uncle lived in this building. They lived on this side in the top, and she ran a beauty salon out of this building here. So I have fond memories coming here with my mother, and my sister worked there briefly. My grandmother worked with her when she was in this town here. Yeah. Is Della tuning in there? Hey Della, how you doing? We're in Batesville here. I missed you if Della's in the chat here. Thanks for tuning in there. And yeah, it wasn't my Aunt Della. It was a different aunt. It was an aunt, my father's sister. But my Della's on my mom's side. Here, Batesville Memorial Public Library. But Della was great. We went to the dunes. We had a good time in Chicago. My Aunt Diane tuned in yesterday, and I wished her a happy birthday. And I got a lot of aunts and uncles here. Here's the Genealogy Junction monthly topics, Batesville Memorial Library here. Here's the Batesville Library, Batesville Public Library here, Batesville, Indiana. See, this is Walnut. Okay, here we go. Coming soon, the Arts and Innovation Hub. Look at that's what they're building here. So we got breaking news here for Batesville, Indiana. Coming soon, the Arts and Innovation Hub next to the Batesville Memorial Library. Made in Batesville. So it's going to be an incubator probably for creative businesses, and maybe they're going to have art galleries and stuff there. So it shows you this town, something's happening here. This is great. I'm excited about this. So here, let's see if the library's open. What time we got here? 1:36. Hopefully they'll be okay with me. I'll keep my voice down, especially since it's a library. I talk loud here. But hey, thanks for tuning in here. We're in Batesville, Indiana here. Let's check out this library, see if it's open here. Yeah. Look at this. Today's a good day. Well, here we go, right off the bat. Here, John A. Hildebrand, Clara M. Hildebrand. Hildebrand Industries. They donated money for this library. And they used to own the Hildebrand Industries, which made the caskets. Here, the Batesville Arts and Innovation Hub. That's what it's going to look like on the inside. Take a look. There, 200-person program room. There's a site plan there. So here's where we're at. They're going to do a whole space here, annexed to the library. I'm excited about this. Look at this stained glass window. They got some rare books here, right from their personal collection. Let's see, they got nonfiction stacks. They got fiction. Got a side area here, reference room, checkouts, media that you can check out videos. Game center, you can check out video games. Batesville Public Library here, Batesville, Indiana here. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, what a great library here. So you got a children's area, and here's the main actually where people enter from the parking lot. Hey, there's Dolly Parton. There's Dolly Parton. How you doing there? Yeah. We will get a. How you doing there, Dolly? We went to Dollywood. There it is, the Imagination Library. Well, let's see if we can get out this way. Let's see what this looks like. There's according to the site plan. This is Batesville, Indiana. This is the Memorial Library. They're going to be they're building a arts center there. See, they got this shelter. This is going to be a public plaza. See, they expanded this in 1988, and then it's going to go all the way down. And see, the parking's over here. There's the book drop off. But here, look at this. I'm excited by this. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice library. I mean, for the size of this town, this is a good library. I agree. And so, yeah, let's head back through here and we'll head to the other side there. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out the library here to my connection. Hold out here. And I remember, but there's a smell to this. I think it's like the cleaning agent they use for the floor here. It reminds me. I remember this smell from when I was a kid. My mother would take me to this library. See, that's where we were just at here. We went out this door and we were looking here, and that's why this is all under construction. We're in this library here, and they're building this new innovation hub here in Batesville, Indiana. There they are, Hillenbrand's. I guess maybe this is what was here before. We got a fish tank. Here's the fish. Somebody's tuning in right now. It looks like I'm under the sea here. But here, let's head out. Here comes the FedEx here, or the UPS. How you doing here? FedEx. Hey, UPS. That's good. So here, let's see if we can make it up to the golf course. There's a golf course up here, Walnut Street. Oh, they got the street closed off. Huh. So I went to East Central High School. I didn't go to Batesville. Batesville's got a high school. You could tell the area around Sunman, which is east of here, it consolidated with North Dearborn before I went to school there, and they built East Central. There was, of course, South Dearborn. Lawrenceburg has their own school. Batesville has their own school. As there's, Ripley County, South Ripley. We're in Ripley County. Here's Megan's Travel Agency. Yeah, they got 2 years ago, we went in some of these businesses. We walked here. They got some. See, yeah, I think they were selling grills. I remember we went up there. That's changed. Here's the old shoebox. So these are just little quaint little antique shops and things that are here in Batesville. Very, very nice shops here. The studio. And yeah, it's a nice little charming town. It's Indiana has a lot of nice little small towns. Yeah, Osterling. You notice the German names. Yeah, they're very, very strong German American heritage, and you'll see it in the businesses, you'll see it in the street names, you'll see it in the architecture. These are just simple commercial storefronts. Weiler, I think that's a German name. Lowell Miller. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, the closed road, sometimes you gotta go a long detour, but thankfully this one's not too bad. But hey, what a beautiful day. Thanks for checking out just the flowers in this small town. We'll get down to the other side here. What time we got? 1:42. I know I didn't get started right away. But here, real estate. See, look, I told you, it's so funny. People will tune in, they'll be like, are you enjoying ice there in Chicago? I'm like, look, I'm in rural Indiana here. This is Trump country. It just cracks me up that people don't take the time to see where I'm streaming from. You know, do you want ICE to come to Batesville, Indiana? You'll see it in the comments. Like, people are just, you know, everybody's got it on their mind there. I know with the National Guard and it's all in the news there. I understand. If it's the stuff in the national news that affects anything I stream, you know, no matter what the topic of the day is. Sunshine Sisters. Yeah, they got some nice little, how you doing? They got some nice boutique shops here. I'm just walking here. I'm on YouTube here, so here we'll head down. We'll come back and hit this. Look how you can see the old go sign there on the top there. Let's see what it says here. It says Q Vonder Hides Batesville Mineral Waterworks. This was a waterworks, and now it's Sunshine Sisters, this great little boutique shop here. And here we'll go down to the what is this called? The Stitch. Yeah, beautiful homes. Yeah, I don't understand the meaning and symbology of all the galaxy of Trump flags. There's a whole bunch of ones with the blue and the, yeah, and if I needed any reminder, I'm in southern Indiana, not Chicago. I saw somebody driving proudly a minivan with kids in the back, and they had the Confederate flag on their front license plate, and I flipped them off. So if they're gonna fly their flag, I'm gonna fly mine, and it's free speech. And you know, that's their free speech, First Amendment right to fly the battle flag of the Confederacy. I don't understand it. You know, here we are in Indiana. We're in a state that fought for the Union. You know, what in the modern age, displaying that it has so many other meanings, and the same with all these flags. Some of them support the police. Some of them are like the blue line, but some of them are like Proud Boy symbology and things like that. And I don't understand it all because I don't subscribe to that ideology. But you can call me whatever name you want. People are going to do it anyway. But here we're checking out Batesville, Indiana, and nice little shops here. Yeah, the motherland. Even the fact I bring up German American history, people bring up, you know, most of the German Americans that were here, they were very patriotic during World War I and World War II. They stopped speaking German, and they very quickly assimilated and made sure they proved, just like Eisenhower. Eisenhower was a German American and helped defeat the Axis there. So the complex history of American, you know, and the German Americans during World War II were certainly treated better than the Japanese Americans. And we can know the reason why that was. So here's Batesville, Indiana. Yeah, that one has multiple colors on the flag. I don't understand it either. But look at this beautiful house here, Hillcrest Avenue. So I think we filmed this before. You can see it from Walnut Street as you enter Batesville. It's got this nice classical columns in the portico here, or whatever it is. I don't know my architect. Look at those rocking chairs here. So we got the lions. We got a nice gate here. There's some really nice housing here on the north side of Batesville, Indiana here. And hey, they're flying the Notre Dame. They're flying the Notre Dame Irish flag. You see that? They're flying the Notre Dame flag here in Indiana. Yeah, see, because South Bend is in the northern part of Indiana. There, we were up near South Bend when I was at the dunes there with my Aunt Della. Here's the lions. Here, this is called Seven Oaks Manor, established 1936. J. Fritsch, the architect. Isn't that nice where they tell us the architect? J. Fritsch. There used to be a mayor of this town named Jim Fritsch. I wonder if that was his ancestor there. But here we're in Batesville, Indiana. We're just checking out the nice residential housing here. Your father was Czech Republic. That's great. Czechoslovakia. Czech. Well, you know, the Slovakia and the Czech Republic are two different countries, and they were combined, I guess, after World War II. Here, Hillcrest. Look at this housing here. Wow. we filmed this before on my original TikTok account. Look at this housing. And again, the German American heritage. Look at that. I got to show this to Demishi to see if they replicated buildings that are more authentic where he streams in the Bavarian Alps there in Germany. This is a single family residential house here. Let's cross the street here. Let's see if we can check it out here. So they're only working on one side of the street. Even this house, this is in Batesville, Indiana. We got this amazing housing that was probably built after World War. I don't know. This might have been built in the 20s and 20s. This might have been built in the 1920s. I'm not for sure. Don't quote me on that. See how they got a nice little bridge here? Yeah, beautiful homes. Here, it's called Tarkington North Walnut, 509 North Walnut. Look at this beautiful house here. I think at one time this was like a Airbnb or bed and breakfast, but I don't think it is now. I'm not for sure. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. Maybe it's a private residence that they just got this sign here. But look how they got this nice bridge as you enter, and very nice landscaping. Both of these buildings here. Look at that. Let's see if we can zoom in here. I'm zooming in from the public street here. I don't want to invade people's privacy here, but look at that amazing window bay there. And let's check out. Yeah, I don't know how much. You can look up on Zillow. No matter where I go, people ask how much. I'm not a real estate agent. You know, I'm traveling all across the Midwest here, so it varies from region to region. I'm sure the cost of living in Batesville, Indiana is cheaper than Chicago, but housing's expensive everywhere. And especially housing is nice quality as this. See, we can't really see it. Now, do I want to walk all the way down to the golf course? Yeah, let's go through the golf course here. Here's the golf course. Yeah, I think these were the heirs of the Hillenbrands, or the people that owned the Romweber. The two families, it was Hillenbrands and Romweber. Hillenbrands did the caskets. Batesville was known for making caskets and furniture, and all, which became hospital beds. It became Hillenbrands Romweber, Hillrom, and then it was bought out by Baxter, and they still make hospital beds. We noticed in some of the Chicago Hope and ER and some of the Chicago Med that some of the hospital beds used in that area were from Batesville. Yeah, this is a nice town. I enjoy walking through here, and it's not that crowded. And they got an 18-hole golf course. There's a hospital there, and I think they're moving and building the hospital north of the interstate. They're expanding it. There's also a cancer center north of the interstate. This is I-74, Batesville, Indiana. I just want to show the golf course here a little bit, and then we'll head back to the main part of the town here. But hey, they got a nice pool there. Hey, you can see the side of some of these houses. Yeah, we'll just catch the side of some of these houses that, and of course they're next to the golf course. That makes sense. Oh, D. Michael, how you doing there? Thanks for the jokes there. Jim, how you doing there? D. Yeah, Nelios. The way I roll. Yeah, Batesville casket. The way I roll knows. Yeah. Very visual appealing here. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody called the police on me either. I'm surprised somebody calls the police on me wherever I go. I'm in a public street here. Here, look at this nice birdhouse. Look at that birdhouse there, yeah. There you can get a good view of the side. Look, they got, yeah, all those windows overlook this golf course and overlook this pond here. Here's the green here. So hey, you caught me on the golf course. How often do I on a golf course? Not often. Hey, nice flowers here. Look at that. So here we'll head right back up to the street here, and we'll head back to the main part of town here. Thanks for staying on here. We just toured around Batesville, Indiana here on a beautiful late summer day. Very cool, low mid 60s. I don't even think it's going to get to 70 today. It feels like 70, but that's because we're in the sun. Yeah. Hey, we'll head past these Yeah, I get the same thing. When I'm in Chicago, people say where everybody's at. Here I'm in a small town, Indiana, and, you know, you're just like Los Angeles. No one walks in LA. Everybody's got cars. There are a lot of people driving around by the interstate. There's a lot of traffic on the interstate. It's just not in this town. But if you see it, you know, early in the morning when everybody's commuting to work, it'll back up. Or in the evenings when everybody's getting off of work. Forrest Gump, run, Forrest, run. Hey, there's that. Look at that beautiful. It's called the Tarkington, Tarkington, 509 North Walnut here, Batesville, Indiana. Look at that beautiful residential facade there, the German Bavarian influences, and then they got that green Spanish tile there. I wonder if that's a well, or maybe it was probably a pilaster that they capped off there. But they got these nice all throughout the town. They got these memorial banners with people that were in the military. And here we can get a better view of this. Seven Oaks Manor, Jay Fritsch, the architect here, Batesville, Indiana. And they got the Notre Dame flag there. Look at that. Fighting Irish. There you go, $500,000. Yeah, for a house of that quality, yeah. If that house was in Pasadena or the Palisades, that would be that'd be $5 million at least in LA, and it's $500,000 here in Indiana, and it shows you. But here, yeah, I don't know what this flag means. I don't understand all the flags that go with the different political parties. There's that nice little, it's called the Sunshine Sisters. So here, if you stick with me, we'll go back to the main town square there, and we'll walk quickly to the other side. I'll show you some of there's furniture warehouses that used to be industrial, and they converted into housing. And there's also like an arts center where they have a lot of people that have little booths, crafts, and so it's not really a flea market. It's like a market, indoor market area. And we've gone through there before. I want to go and see if it's still open. It might not be open. It's only open certain times of the week. But if you just joined, we're in Batesville, Indiana here. I know I sound like a broken record. I have to keep saying that for people just tuning in here. I'm not in Chicago. And we're just tooling around this small town here, Columbus and Walnut. And we're heading back to center of the town here, Batesville. There, John Kinker. I recognize all these names because I went to high school with people with those names. Calabasas, yeah, beautiful area there, California. Yeah. Hey, the Lunch Bunch. Prince, how you doing there? Jim O'Connor. Yeah. Hamlet. Yeah, there you go. 2 acres, that's good. North Dakota, how you doing? Oh, you're right from Notre Dame, ND. It's Notre Dame or North Dakota? I know I just showed the Notre Dame flag. So I assume you mean Notre Dame, but maybe you mean North Dakota. Either way, thanks for tuning in. Here's Megan's amazing invention. Yeah, Osterling chimney sweep. You noticed the sign. Here's the Oldenburg Academy. Yeah, the Oldenburg Academy. Oldenburg's just north of here. If I have time later this week, I'll try to film from there again. They got these, they paint their fire hydrants. Oldenburg paints their fire hydrants with little men, little women and faces on them. And they're cute. And I have a hard time getting a live stream connection there. So I might have to record it and post a rerun, but we'll find a way to get it to you if we go up to. And there's beautiful historic churches there. Oldenburg's actually older. The churches, or the convent area, is older than this town even, because it's a railroad town. Summit and Batesville grew after the railroad. The Big Four Railroad came through here, and the older towns go back to the either Catholic parishes or the Protestant parishes that started in the old mail routes and the old trails. Well, here, Indiana, southeast Indiana here. What time we got? 1:58. I'll probably go for another 15 minutes here. I didn't get started right away. It took me a while to get the stream going. I always do hit a setting wrong or something. But we'll figure out eventually. Thanks everybody. Thanks my mods and everybody else. And look, I mean, there's just nice housing all around this town. Like, look, you know, look at this porch, the nice timbers here. See, you got the enclosed porch there. Here we go. So we at the beginning of the live, we went by this theater. Let's see if I can find out when this was built. Let me get my second phone here. Hold on a second here. I'm looking up this theater here. I should have been more prepared here. There's always so much going on here. Oops. So it's not Gibson's Steakhouse in Chicago that came up here. Theater. There it is. The Gibson Theater was built in 1921. The Gibson Theater. Here we go. So let's about us. Okay, here we go. So here, welcome to Batesville, Indiana here. We're on Main Street. Dr. C.W. Gibson built a new theater in 1921 on Main Street. It used to look a little different. They added that facade later. And so it doesn't say when they updated the facade, but I think it was after 1929. They had electrical pianos. They used to use Victrola and player pianos. I wonder if they used to show silent movies there. And so, you know, this was the original first movie house in Batesville, and it just shows one movie at a time. It has a balcony, and it's beautiful. You know, it's not open right now, but when it is, it's beautiful on the inside. And I've been watching movies in this movie theater my entire life here, at Gibson Theater here in Batesville, Indiana. And we saw, like when we were in Effingham, there's a beautiful theater like this in Effingham, downstate Illinois here. How you doing here? Hey, look at the nice murals here. The Teller's Jake Tell's barbershop here. Look at that. Yeah, remember when the barbershop pole was here? Roscommon. I don't know what Roscommon is. Give me some more information about Roscommon. Is that a town or a business? I don't know what Roscommon is. Is that? I know Hillendale Commons. There's a subdivision near here. Here's Main Street. Here's what Main Street, Batesville used to look like in the 1930s. Some of these buildings remain. Some of them they tore down here. There's the old directional. See, they got this nice little plaza here. And in the 70s, they tore down some older buildings, underutilized commercial buildings, and they created this plaza. It was the idea. They thought they could attract more people to come to the town center if they just needed more parking and needed a modern shopping center. But you see, it's still not any more active than it was before. So, but hey, here's the old Sherman House restaurant, and there's a hotel here. And you see the German. This is Batesville, Indiana here. If you're just tuning in, we're in Batesville, Indiana. I'm not in Chicago. I'm visiting my father this week. That's why I'm down here. And we're tooling around some of the small towns of southeast Indiana in between Indianapolis and Cincinnati. And we were here earlier. I'm gonna head to the other side here, and we'll go over to there. We'll go for about another 15 minutes. We'll go to the other side of the small commercial area here, and there's some old furniture warehouse that they converted to housing here. First National Bank. See, these are some of the buildings that we've lost. We've lost all these buildings. This was what one side of Main Street used to look like, and now it looks completely different. See, they tore it down to build this bank. But look at these guys. Look at these guys. I wonder if they saw that log. That would be awesome if they saw that log. I want to see if they do that on the hour there. How you doing? That's great. So here, we'll head through here. Here's the Sherman. There it is. A nice restaurant there. The Sherman. Since 1852, it's named after General Sherman. Sherman's March there. You fought under Ulysses S. Grant. We showed the Ulysses S. Grant there. And old Sherman fought for the Union there in the Civil War. His name is still cursed at many South. Sherman's March. It was total war. So here's where the railroad tracks used to go through here. See Batesville, Indiana. There you see it on the water tower. And then they built this commercial suburban tile thing. Hey, we got a water fountain. We got a water fountain for the dog. I'm going to try this thing out here while you check out this German clock tower there. You're in Gary, that's good. Thanks for tuning in. We were by the dunes. I posted reruns of the dunes on my TikTok there, Brian Really Chicago, but we're streaming on YouTube now. Look at this nice pavilion they got here. They got a nice little pavilion. Hey, there's a nice mural here. Irons Family Pizza. Look, they got the robot and some gears and stuff. Plenty of parking. We got plenty of parking here. Oops, sorry. Thank you. And we'll head around here. There's the mural. There, we're back. Sorry about that. I messed up. I was so hey, welcome to Batesville. I was trying to click the comments off and off, and it minimized the screen, and somehow it kicked me out of the Streamlabs there. So we're nearing the end of the stream anyway there, so at least now it'll still stick it on this there. So thanks everybody for so Loopy, why do you want troops to be sent to Batesville, Indiana? They probably already left here, so it's not even worse. I knew that, you know, I can go to like the reddest of the red state that all voted for Trump, and they'll still say send the troops because they think it's Chicago, and it's just so funny. This is not Chicago, this is Batesville, Indiana. So hey, thanks for tuning in here. And we'll this is some of the warehouses that they converted to housing and other things here. So here's backing up here, so we'll get out of their way here. Here's a nice church here. But thanks for sticking on to those that stuck on there. Hopefully a few people will come back here. Now I got the stream going again here. So here, United Methodist Church here. United Methodist Church here in Batesville, Indiana. They took there's something up there in the little, it says 1893 on the side here. Goes back to 1845, the United Methodist Church here. There's the original church, which is this. There's the original church, 1894, and then 1889. Actually, this is older. This is okay. So this must be the rectory, 1934. This is the original church here, 1889, Batesville, Indiana. Here, we're at South and Park here, and there you can see St. Louis. The Catholic Church is over there. There's the Methodist Church here. And see how it's in German. Look at that. The German American influence in all these churches. And in Batesville, Indiana, there it is. Hey, riding the bike here. Very nice. I know, what troops? I know. Somebody's like sending the troops. Why does Batesville, Indiana need the National Guard? You know, and that begs the question, if Batesville, Indiana doesn't need the National Guard, why does Chicago or Washington, D.C. or New Orleans? I guess the governor of Louisiana has invited, and then that's the way it should be. If the governor wants to use the power invested in the separation of powers between the states and the federal government, if the governor of Louisiana wants to use the National Guard, governors can do that. J.B. Pritzker is the governor of Illinois. Donald Trump's not the governor of Illinois. There's a separation of powers. Here, Romweber Flats. Here, this is so they converted some of this to housing. Some of it's used as art space. I think this up here is housing, and this used to be furniture factories in Batesville. They were near the railroad tracks, And you see some of the industrial stuff that was part of Romweber Hillrom Hospital Bed Company. And then it became Baxter. Baxter bought it out. And that's why they got these. That's a double-decked sky bridge that connects the two historical factories. Here's Veterans Park here, Batesville, Indiana. Oh, the nice flowers here. Look at that. Hey, we got a geodesic dome here. Here we got a Scoop ice cream. We got the ice cream place here. It's closed though. Look at these windows. These old, yeah. This. I see how somebody could mistake this for Chicago because it looks very industrial. So let's see. See if they still got some little. Yeah. See how they got some little arts and crafts places in here. Yeah. Let's see if we can go in here. So here, this is. What do they call this? Look at the old mail here. So this is the Romweber Flats. Is that what they call this? Yeah, look at this. Romweber Furniture. There, Romweber Furniture. People in Batesville will recognize this. Yeah, look at all this arts and crafts stuff here. This is in Batesville, Indiana here. And then see how the old ceiling here. Imagine the old machinery that used to be in here. And they got all kinds of antique shops and furniture. So this is called Romweber Marketplace. This is Romweber Marketplace. If you're looking for this, and we've been here before. It's been like 2 years. Hey, Walt Disney Comics. Hey, they got the old Donald Duck here. Look, there's a flute. Grand Antique Mall. Look at this. Yeah, people are checking out the deals here. Look at, they got bunk beds, chairs, rocking chairs, all kinds of furniture. Look at this guy. So if you like kitsch, look at that. Grandma and Grandpa sitting there in the chair. That's nice. I like that. Oh, look at this. There's Jackie O. All sales are final. So hey, Romweber Marketplace here. That's what they call this. So hey, thanks for sticking on to see this. You got similar places in Elkhart. That's good. Knickknacks, yeah. Yeah, your mom would love this. D. Michael, yeah. So, you know, look, we got a spinning wheel. We got an old spinning wheel. Where can you find that? Like the old loom. They got some pottery, jewelry. Got clothes. It just takes you longer to find stuff here. Hey, Cincinnati Reds. You get your holiday stuff. Get all kinds. They got a Halloween Christmas tree there for the Nightmare Before Christmas. You get your Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. All your Halloween decor here. Your pumpkins and yeah, very nice. Look at that bowl. Wow, look at this thing. Wow. You get a solid brass bell. Hey, Batesville, Indiana. Romweber Marketplace here. This is on off of Pearl Street, I guess. And here, I'll take you over to the front here so you can see where we're at. Here, Romweber Viking Oak Furniture, Timeless Beauty. You can buy that old sign there. People, this has sentimental value. People's families work for this. Batesville Trails. We entered the side here. I think there's other ways you can get over here. Look at this sky bridge. But yeah, this used to be furniture stores or furniture manufacturing factories in the old days, and now they converted this. Romweber Flats is housing. You can live there. And then this is this marketplace on this side. I don't know what's above. Batesville, Indiana. Thanks for checking out there. Little treasure there. Yeah, get some coffee there, Jim. O'Connor, go with Margie there. Yeah, teal lime. Thanks for coming back. Yeah, sorry I dropped out there for a second. That was my own fault. I tried to turn off the comments and turn them on, and I kicked us out of the live, but we got it back. So thanks for sticking on there. There's the water tower there, Batesville, Indiana. So we might come back next week. I think on Thursday next week I'll still be around here because my dad has to go to the doctor's, and he has to get some test, and so I'm gonna drive him up there and wait around. So while we're waiting around for him to have his procedure there, we're going to I'll probably head back to this town a week from today. So we'll be back in Batesville. I'll research something else we can check. See, here's all the certified historical structures listed on the National Historic Register, and it's because this was all furniture. Batesville cabinet, Batesville coffin, which became Hillenbrand's. Romwebers. Here's the Romwebers. There's the family there, and they used to own all this. See the smokestack there? The railroad tracks used to come straight through here, and there was a siding, and it went up to where the Sherman House was, and that was the end of the side. Well, I think it went a little further. Here's an old gas station. But hey, thanks for checking out Batesville here. We'll just head back, and I probably won't stream tonight. I'm going to spend time with my dad. And tomorrow I'm going to, in the afternoon, I'm going to go to Lawrenceburg, Indiana, meet with my cousin. We're going to drive into Cincinnati. At least that's what we're planning to do, probably after dinner time. So, or before or after dinner time. I don't know when we're going to get up there. So tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, probably more likely after 5 o'clock, I'll be streaming on YouTube in Cincinnati. He'll have his car. We'll probably drive around over the Rhine, Mount Adams, Covington, downtown Cincinnati, Clifton. We'll check out my old haunts from the University of Cincinnati. We might see what the new stuff there at the University of Cincinnati. And we'll go to some of the overlooks. There's beautiful overlooks that overlook the downtown Cincinnati and the Ohio River. And it's beautiful this time of the year, late summer. So tomorrow I'll send a message to the mod team there on TikTok, and I'll let you know what my schedule is once it becomes apparent tomorrow. I'm kind of on my cousin's schedule there when he gets off of work tomorrow. But we'll do some streaming from Cincinnati. Cincinnati's such a beautiful historic town over the Rhine, all the Italianate buildings, their music hall, and nice murals and stuff. So we'll check that out. And so thanks for checking out Batesville here, Langdon Meats here. Yeah, they still butcher deer and cattle and exotic meats here. Langdon Meats here since 1924. And here's the main square here. So we'll go here and we'll show you a nice overview of the whole town, and then we'll sign off, and we'll catch you tomorrow there in Cincinnati. So I appreciate you. Thanks for letting me take some time off here I know people have been looking for me. People are like, where you at? Why are you streaming? Why aren't you in Chicago? I'm like, I gotta spend some time with my dad on his birthday here. And so thanks for checking out these little, well, this is a pretty good size town here. I like Batesville. The library is amazing. And yeah, on YouTube, Kevin, it'll be on YouTube. We'll be on YouTube. So hey, thanks everybody there. We'll see you. Thanks Kevin and everybody else. Thanks mods. We'll see you tomorrow in Cincinnati, probably evening time. And we'll get you some good footage. And if you miss it, you can check it out in the reruns. I'll post both to YouTube and TikTok. Okay, have a great day there from Batesville, Indiana. Have a good day there. If you missed any part of this, you can check out the rerun there. You can check out these guys sawing the log there. It's the old Sherman House here. Hey, thanks. I'll tell my dad happy birthday. Thanks everybody for wishing a happy birthday. It's not till the weekend there, but yeah, we'll wish Dad a happy birthday there. Thanks everybody. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.